Hey guys, what's up? Long time no fish room tour. I've just lost complete passion for playing with my tanks, and so I haven't done anything. Not nothing, but I've been doing all the work-related things and none of the fun things. So I'm going to be changing that, and I've been saying that for months, and it's something I have to do now, or I'm going to end up getting out of the hobby. There's things I do enjoy about these tanks, and there's lots of things I don't enjoy. And one of the biggest things I don't enjoy is I don't have time. That's the biggest problem. So, but like this tank, I'm enjoying quite a bit. And you can see these have the Tuxedo koi guppies, and I am enjoying them. We've got plants that I actually planted this one. This tank is actually 2.0, if you will. I actually was like, yeah, I want to get this tank looking like what I want it to look like, and I am working on that. There's some contaminants I want to get out of there, like this Java moss down here. In a perfect world, I wouldn't have that in there. It's already entwined in the crypts, so I can probably never get it all the way out. But a tank like this is what I enjoy. Getting a nice crypt garden going, which it's pretty thin over here still. We've got crypt spiralis and everything back there, and part of the reason it's so sparse is I've done no fertilization at all. I haven't even put in root tabs yet. I haven't given any liquid fertilizer, maybe liquid like once a month or something. Barely any at all, so they're not dying. That's what I love about crypts. Like, if you're new to plants, just buy crypts. They're amazing. And they have all this texture on them. And these are just crypt twin dead eye reds. And you're going, well, they're not that red, they're more of a bronze. Again, no fertilizer. If I give them anything, they'll start coloring up a lot. And they've taken forever to convert. Like, this is literally like 6 months in, and that leaf right there is still not converted, but everything else is converted. It's so tight on nutrients because it's a 75-gallon tank with guppies, and there's babies in here, and the snail population is starting to take off, which I like. And that's what all these guys are down here. And the reason they're taking off, you can see they're starting to get some pinks and stuff in there in the ram's horns, which I like. You see eggs right on the screen there. But we're running an auto feeder, so that's why they're hanging out there. They already got fed today. Boom, went down. And so, I am testing things. That's what's keeping me very busy in the hobby, is testing things. So on this tank, we've got two different lights. We have a Stingray on the left-hand side, and then this light from Korea on the right-hand side. So as you look at it, much brighter, much less bright. Now, this has only been on here for a couple of days, so it doesn't have anything to do with plant growth or anything like that. It's only been like 2 or 3 days. And what we're doing is we're testing, what I'm doing is I'm testing lighting to make sure that I still believe the Fluval 3.0 is the best on the market. Because now it's been out for like a year or something like that, and as new lights come out, if you're not testing new lights, you're just going off of old information. So this light would have to retail for more. It's only got a 1 year, it only has a 1 year warranty on it. It only has an on and off switch, so that's all it can do. It's a decent light for sure. Like on a high-end aquascape tank, that's what these are for. These are, you can hang them. They come with hanging kits and stuff. It's a high-end light, but something like this 2-footer would be more expensive than like the 4-footer of the Fluval light. And just a Korean company was like, we really like this light, you should try it. And it's decent. It gets really hot though, it's burning my hands, so it does have that problem. They say it gets hot, but continually testing. I'm still searching for, I want a great budget light that we can put Aquariumcoop's name on and grow plants really well and not cost an arm and a leg. Like the Fluval lights are great, don't get me wrong. I run them on over there. You can see they're a lot brighter on the 125s and stuff. We run them over there and I love them. They're waterproof. They've got the app technology. They just work. They're a reasonable price point. But I want something that's better than the Phoenix light, but not quite as good as the Fluval light, at a price point in between the two, because I feel like there's a little bit of wiggle room in that 55-gallon range. So some other things we've been playing with here. I've got the Oase filter set up and running. It's another canister filter. I'll say this, I'm probably going to remove, I think I'm going to switch my fish room back to nothing but air driven again. Now that I have the aqua clears running and stuff, and I really like the Zis filter. And so in a tank like this, maybe I'll do either 2 Zis filters or a Zis filter and a sponge filter, but I really like the Zis filtration. I'm thinking if we just had a Zis filter in that corner and one in that corner behind some tall plants, that would look great. Also provides the oxygen I want, super easy, and you know, I can have the maintenance be gravel vacuuming and stuff, which I don't do a lot of, but I don't need to do a lot of. So up top, we still have the CO2 tank primed, you know, pretty much ready to be installed with the dosing pump for this tank up here. What have we been doing in this tank, you ask? This is where we put the blue angels. I still like them. They've laid eggs about 10 times now, but I've never had time to set up the tank to move the eggs to, so we've never reared them. So yeah, they just keep doing that. And now, you know, they keep laying eggs on the Zis filter, and then they probably get eaten or sucked up by the intake, so. This is some new products we brought in. We had a photograph and that kind of stuff. This is Java moss on wood. So do know that we do have some of it. That being said, we're already buying the farms out. And so we have Siswasser tang up there. It's only up there so that Jimmy could get it out of the way to film this to get the right picture, right? But even on that, on our first order, we ordered a bunch and they shorted us on both of these. So we already know it's gonna be an issue. So bear with us when you're like, you said you had Java moss, I went to the website and now you're sold out. They're selling really well. I wanna say something like this is like 18 or 19 bucks. And it's 3-dimensional, you know. It's about 4 inches tall, 3 inches wide, 2 inches thick. And we're bringing in more swords. You know, I guess part of my struggle is, do I do what I wanna do or do I do what makes the company money? And that's the struggle, because if I didn't have to film any of this, I would just do it whenever I wanted to. I'm not worried about what the public thinks. I don't have to explain how to do it. Like setting up a tank and explaining it takes days. Setting up a tank and doing it myself with the knowledge I have takes 3 hours, right? So that's kind of where I'm at. Like I genuinely believe everyone that's new to plants should be using sword plants and then crypts and then sprinkling in some stem plants and just doing really well. Like if any, you can get anything out of this video, get the absolute neglect besides feeding fish and changing water. There's still 4 water changes a day, but absolute neglect, no fertilizer, anything like that gets you a tank at least this good. So when I watch people struggle with tanks, I'm like, wow, what are you doing wrong? Because this is, you know, and so I just want to remind you about this tank, is it was only running 1 Stingray, so it's a $75 light on a 75-gallon tank. So it's not like I bought my way there with like, well, I was using really expensive lighting or anything like that. Like, it's the bare minimum here. Time will just solve that for an aquarium with a planet tank. So I think people should be playing with crypts. I think you should be playing with swords, and you know, that's my personal opinion because that's what I'm playing with. Down over here we have some more swords, more crypts, sorry. And we've got some potted plants. These are for projects that Jimmy's used and that kind of stuff. The overflow, I guess, kind of gets set down here. And then you've got some moss that's, you know, taking off and whatnot. But I want to remove a lot of equipment. You know, we've got the heater in here because I had to have heaters to really test them and everything. And we've got the aqua clears and all that. And these Platys turned out to be not the right ones. You can see there's a lot of orange and they're not blue, so they should just go to the store. And I realize I've said that for probably 3 videos now, and I just don't go to the store that often. You know, I go there, but I'm so busy when I'm there that it's a problem, so. Up top, you know, we've got more crypts again because they are what flourish in neglect. You know, so we've got that whole crypt side to it. And we've got the archway and a little bit of Anubias. And these are just Anubias that got used for projects and they get dumped in here. You can see there's algae on the glass. And the problem we have in this tank, this is the best guppies in the world. There's 2 of them that are just like, I retreated again yesterday, so it's like the 4th treatment of deworming. I think it could just be like something like an actual kidney problem or something with these fish, because the other fish are fine. Like the other adults are doing just fine, but those guys are really struggling, so not sure what to do there. Again, more crypts and some bulbitis African fern. And there's the, see, these guys are just horrible for YouTube because the Bettas hide most of the time. So you've got one right here, but then you've got another one sitting up here the whole time. And if I don't start hatching out baby Brian, we're literally never gonna get babies out of these guys. So I really need to commit baby brine time or do something else, you know. And I can't decide where the fun comes from for me. Is it them looking really good and me being proud of them? Is it breeding fish and then looking proud? How did that, oh, it's low flow. How did that happen from like a second ago? I mean, oh, the air's off. Jimmy must have been playing. So a lot of times like this air gets turned off if we need to shoot a picture or video because you want it to be off in the background. So by turning the flow down, it's letting me know this heater is overheating and it's not quite at 45 degrees. So probably if I turn air back on, where is it? Oh, I don't know where the valve is. He must have turned it off way up top. So once this video is done, I gotta go turn it back on. You know, the air is not life or death in this tank, and the heater is redundant. We don't even need the heater, but for testing purposes and all that. Although he might have done this intentionally to get the red light to come on for the picture on the website, but I digress. Then over here, we've got the guppies I brought back from, was it Austria, Vienna? World Championship guppies. I really like these guys a lot. They're just living with shrimp, and this tank has just always been a catch-all, and we don't have an algae scraper. That's one thing I do want to get is algae scrapers on all the tanks, because the tanks that do have them, we clear the algae, but we typically don't get in here and clear this algae unless we're taking pictures. Where's that shrimp at? Eating right there. But yeah, just lots of neglect. And when I say neglect, like I wanna be clear here. Still 4 water changes, still getting fed. Like this is a tank that is producing babies, and these are fish that are very valuable. But neglect by my standards of like, you know, I wouldn't take a picture of this tank and post it to Instagram or anything like that. Now it's probably 2 or 3 weeks from that. You know, you spend 2 or 3 weeks, you can take a tank that looks pretty terrible and make it look a lot better. That's from a looking standpoint. Chemically and all that, it's great. You know, their fish are healthy, everything's doing great. You know, and that's kind of the way the whole fish room is at the moment, is everything aesthetically looks terrible, but chemically and everything looks great. Kind of same thing over here, we've got the turtles. You see it's got algae on the right-hand side. And then, you know, an insane amount of turtles. More testing going on. So, you know, maybe that's what I need. Maybe I need to separate the aquariums that I'm going to keep and the testing aquariums, because I feel like I'm in a constant state of swapping equipment and testing. So obviously a lot of turtles in here, and we've got the Zis filter, which has worked out absolutely amazing. And then we've got the internal filter from Waze that, you know, it did exactly what I thought it would do and get clogged up, and is, you know, this is smaller size than it needs to be, but I believe this to be a good turtle filter is what the best application for it is. And you know, so I want to test it on turtles. But you know, lots of babies around. You can see that lots of baby fish are in here. We've got endlers, we've got heteranded formosa, we've got the swordtails that, again, another failed project. Those swordtails were supposed to be the dwarf platies, right? So kind of another thing like, should have went to the store or something, I guess. But I wanted to grow them out and just make sure that I wasn't crazy, and turns out I'm not crazy. They were not the right fish. So, but yeah, lots of turtles. You know, they're lovable, growing algae on their shells, doing their thing. What do we got going on over here? We got Jimmy's tank up top. Got a lot of the Val going. And rainbow fish. This is just what he plays with on his channel. You can see there we've got the heater installed correctly to the right, you know, the 45-degree angle. And then down low, this is another catch-all tank. These are fish that came out of the 800-gallon and need to go into the store. We need to make room for them. So we've got all these blood parrots. You can see that the flagtail prochulotus, that's what this fish is right here with the striped tail, has got a color back. So now that he's not with a billion tiger barbs, you know, he's doing much better. And we've got 2 big giraffe cats in here, and these are, again, a lot of extra plants get dumped in here. Of like, let's say they're not good enough to sell, we'll bring them home and just throw them, and like, maybe I'll plant them as crypts, because I love crypts, right? Like any crypts that are like on the edge, I'll be like, just give them to me, I'll take them home, because I'll plant a billion crypts. And we've got algae going on here, but the first things that need to happen is like, these 2 giraffe cats need to figure out what I'm doing with them. Are they staying? Are they going? We've got this big ghost knife in the back here. He's supposed to go in the 800-gallon tank. You know, we've got the Zis filter that we unplugged this air stone. me open this up here. You know, it's just in a state of, yep, need to, you know, so part of the problem is everything keeps getting put on hold. Like we had the snowstorm, and recently we had my mother-in-law and sister-in-law staying with us while they had a house remodel done. They finally, I shouldn't say finally, they have now moved out, and so we've got the house back, and so, you know, a few more things can get done, and we're not constantly, you know, when people are at your house, you're like kind of entertaining, if you will, like you have to acknowledge they're alive, right? So there's a lot of that going on, and so I should have more free time. That being said, traveling season's coming back, and so I'm trying to get things done in between traveling, and yeah, that's basically where we're at. So nothing can be done with this aquarium until we move a bunch of the fish, and then I set it up. And I realize we might be over a year now. Might be over a year of like, yeah, I'm gonna set this thing up. And yeah, someday I will set it up. I've been moving fish out though, like super red bristlenoses that were in there went to Randy's fish room because he wants to breed them, you know. Up here we still got the pair of goldfish. I took out the bristlenose in here so algae started growing, but I do love the new magnet scraper. I had never had the scraping part before. I always thought it was a gimmick, and it's just so much easier. It's like one pass. And I realized I just created a bunch of bubbles, so you can't really tell, but maybe if I do an area here, like it's super clear, like buttery smooth, whereas like, how do I do this? Down here, where I don't have the scraper attachment. So to the best of my knowledge, this is how they used to come. Now they all come, all the new stock, at least the ones I bought to sell at the store, they all come, the big one comes with the scraper blade already. So you just get that built into the package. But you had to do this move, right? Like you had to keep going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So that's the problem I run into, is like it's a lot of elbow work. And then you come up here, like let's grab this one out, I guess, and I'll bring it down there. For you guys, I'm willing to risk the cross-contamination. I bring this scraper blade down there. And we'll get this in the water. Ooh. Now grab this magnet and hopefully, can I pull it too? Come on. There we go. So now, so you see this algae here, I should be able to go through it much easier. So you basically, just like that, so it's, in my opinion, a much needed improvement on some of this harder spot algae. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the day where, so like part of it is a step-by-step process. When I don't feel good about my aquariums, as in presentation wise, I'm not gonna scrape the algae. And if I'm not gonna scrape the algae, I'm not gonna get the water spots off the front, right? And so it's one of those like layer on layer on layer of like, okay, well, I need to get the water spots off, need to get the algae out, need to set up the tank, and all those things need to get done. And because I can't get the inside done, I'm not doing the outside. And so it just makes for horrible presentation. And so I fully realize that, but I wanted to show you guys that, you know, things are alive, things are okay. You know, everything's still alive, and it's not, I guess maybe I have high expectations, I don't know. You know, to me, I want to be able to look at an aquarium like that and just it really be hustling and bustling with life and doing everything I want it to do. And lots of things just keep preventing me. We're really busy at the store. I can show you guys kind of what's going on. So in the garage, we're redoing the entire warehouse because we've grown so incredibly much, which is awesome. Thank you to you guys. These are all cabinets for putting products in. Let me get a better shot, I suppose. So you've got all these cabinets with slots in them so we can put products and the pickers can pick them so the packers can pack them. You know, and there's like 25 of these. We already did another set of like 30 of them. And so a lot of that work's getting done. And that takes time. Obviously, we have to ferry them to the store. I had to buy, you know, that U-Haul to do it. And there's all these things getting done. And a lot of money goes into buying cabinet grade plywood. You know, we buy like 30 sheets at a time. So there's all that going on. And then there's, of course, you guys probably want an update on the rice fish. They are doing great. Can you see all those babies down there? Let me zoom in. I know it just got grainy because I zoomed in tons, but the lighting's low and there's a lot of babies in there. So they all made it. That's the good part. And yes, I fully realize like a bunch of people are like, you should have put ice in there. You should have done all these things. I totally agree with all those statements. This was an on the fly, what am I gonna do? You guys got to see real time. How is Corey gonna deal with it? Not like, oh yeah, after the video, yes, put a little ice in there. Yeah, we could do that. Like that was all real time. And yes, that's the power of the internet. If you have 30,000 people, 50,000 people watch something, you'll get the best ideas all together. So, yeah. So we put this big board on top of it for now because everything's getting covered in dust as we, as we work. Here's another video that's supposed to be coming up here. This is an aquarium I ordered online, so I can show you guys where I ordered it and what it is, how cool it is, and that kind of stuff. But gotta get to it, you know? Gotta get my own aquariums going before. Still have that project to do with all the filtered goods. Yeah, look at the. We have a meeting here every week, and then we transition it into filming products, and we transition it back to having a meeting, and yeah, it's getting out of control. Still all the wood there. That's any day we're tackling this project. Like the minute we get a free day, we're tackling that, and that leads us to the 800-gallon. Turn the lights out so it films a little better. You know, again, covered in algae. Got all the archer fish. And then, you know, we got the Mabu puffer. Here comes the clowns. So I'm thinking about taking out, I really kind of want to make this a tank of a ton of small fish. Because I love this. Like you're watching the clown loaches, I love watching them do that. And as they get bigger, that's going to be harder for them to do in such a small tank. Now I realize 800 gallons is such a small tank, but as you get foot-long clown loaches, it becomes small to them. And so I love that schooling action. I'm really considering ladybird with like a ton of cardinal or neon tetras and fully planting this thing up, right? So we've got this bulbitis that Corvus Oskin or Joel brought to us because he knows I'm going to put bulbitis in this tank. And so we've got a real big one right here, and I've got a bunch over there. We can plant that on the logs, plant a bunch of crypts, give ladybird a nice home. You know, we've basically finished deworming at this point, and now it's purely get in there and do it, along with all the other tanks. Another little test going on here, this air stone. We're testing out the, what do I want to call them? Ultrasonic quiet pumps, basically. These are little miniature air pumps that that don't produce a lot of air. They look like it right now, but it's not a lot of air. Like I wouldn't run a sponge filter on it, but they run really quiet. And I think they're gonna be great for Betta tanks and that kind of stuff because they run so quiet. Now I'm testing some other ones in some other locations, some varieties. So don't run out and buy this one. I'm not convinced it's the winner yet. Wait till tests are done. Like a lot of times you guys, I see that we'll run some tests and you guys will start buying stuff right away, and then you'll ask like, what about this? And it's like, well, the testing's not done. I can't tell you it's necessarily the best or not yet. So we do a lot of testing. We got testing going on in Randy's room. We've got testing going out the store, in the warehouse, and then here as well. So we split it up and put different people using it, employees, and we try to find the faults, because the way I use it in an 800 gallon might be completely different than someone at home in their kitchen on a Betta tank or something like that. So we want to get all the testing before we go, okay, here's our thoughts, guys. Buy it. It's great. All that type of stuff. So, yeah. Again, more mess and filter over here. Tons of filtration. I know the light's poor, and some racking options that I want to show you guys long term. But, yeah. All right, I think that's it. It's a long enough video to show you guys that, hey, I suck at aquarium keeping. And I am testing lots of products. And I hope that you can see that, at least for the most part, everything is healthy. It's just a madhouse here. We've hired on, I think in the last month, at least 2 more employees, and we need to hire at least 1 more. The growth, we're up 100% over last year still, so we're continuing the pace of doubling every year, which is just a hard pace to keep. And we've got a bunch, what I'm really excited is we've got a bunch of new products coming in. Well, I shouldn't say a bunch, but a lot of things are in the works of actually being made. Like we have a cargo container landing this week of stuff that we had made already that we did last year, and it's finally coming to market. And then we've got some other things that should be coming in the next month or two that we've worked on for quite a while that I'm excited for as well. So there's all that stuff going on in the background, and yeah. So don't worry, I'm not getting out of the hobby yet. I just got to figure out how do I make it enjoyable for me and separate all this testing and that kind of stuff. I basically, truth be told, I gave it about a year, maybe 14 months, to find a company that would work with us. And what I mean by that is, who is a company that wanted to put up cash and let's make better products? And after flying all around Germany a few times, China, Florida, Vegas, the conclusion is, in my personal opinion, no one wants to make the hobby better. Like, they all want to make money, which is great. Everyone wants to make money, but they just want to keep doing the same old, you know, and that's kind of a problem when my goal is to make new products, make them better, and do these things. And so now I pretty much believe we've just taken on the role that we're going to do it ourselves. Like, it'll be a lot slower, and we're not gonna have the capital. So like making our own light would be a huge investment, right? Like, let's say we wanted this light and we knew how to make it better, which I don't, but let's say I had the perfect idea for a light, and then I had to make all the sizes, get them, you know, UL rated, and bring in a container full, and it's $200,000 worth of R&D slash prototype slash go to market. Like, that's a huge commitment. So we're gonna start with more simple products, I think, like foam. You know, we've been working on sponges and that kind of stuff, and just trying to make the market a little bit better, you know, every few months or something. Like, oh look, there's a new thing, you know. And I think if we keep doing that, after years we'll get to where we want to be, and eventually with you guys supporting us, we will have the money of, like, guess what, Aquariumcoop's gonna make a light. We think we know what we want, you know, and we think, I hope that I know what you guys want, like by talking with you guys and answering your comments and being in the hobby. You know, I think I know, like, yeah, we need a light that's kind of in between the Phoenix Stingray and the Fluval 3.0. We need it to be waterproof. We need it so you can have a break in the middle of the day, like a siesta. So it's like, oh, it comes on in the morning, then dims back out while I'm at work, then it comes back on at night, then dims back out. Like, you need those functionalities. Like, we get it. You know, like, I listen, I know what we need, and so, you know, or at least I know what could make it a little bit better. Whenever you make a product, obviously, once you use it, then you go, oh, we can make it better. Look at this snail. I love this snail. And those little antennas out. I don't know, if you guys have watched me a long time, you know I absolutely love snails. Snails are like the #1 helper and cleaner in an aquarium. And they balance out. Like, here we have a snail population only because I put the auto feeder on here. And I put the auto feeder on because I was testing food. So again, another test, right? Like, what was I testing? I was testing, if we go over here, testing the Immuno Pro food, which is great for babies, not good for big fish, by the way. And then again, more testing products. We were testing the Fluval Edge heaters. So I had to buy a pile of them. Actually, we got 2 for free, but I had to get some more so that we could spread them out and test them with different employees. We tested out some other stuff too. I don't know where it all went, but you know, that's a lot of my job these days, is testing things, because I can't tell you guys with a straight face you should buy this if I've never used it, you know. So that's the job. All right, well, the last thing I want to make you guys privy to, if I haven't already, I don't have a good example of it, but API General Cure, disregard that, but the API erythromycin. So it comes in the box and all that. We swapped our quarantine trio kit to Maricin. Maricin, the only ingredient is erythromycin, but it's cheaper and a better deal than API. API has been raising the price. So I actually had a meeting with them 3 days ago, and you know, they basically are like, well, we could maybe try and do something. And I was like, well, how do I spend, you know, how do I keep buying more and more and selling it to the internet and people like it, and my buy price keeps going up? Usually when you triple your sales, the price that you pay doesn't go up, it goes down. And so The problem is on that product, like not the bulk, but the smaller product, like places like Chewies.com are getting it for a cheaper price, and they're not willing to match it for us and stuff like that. So, well, okay, let me back that up. They're selling it below MAP, and that's breaking the law, and I'm not willing to break the law on that. So that's where we're at a stalemate. So I brought in Maricin, same erythromycin, and that helps us with that, but it's still gonna be a problem with us for general cure because there's no replacement for general cure currently. That being said, I am trying to work on something to get my own aquarium co-op trio or something. So, all right, guys, I'm gonna put this video up. It'll probably come out in a couple days because I already have a video scheduled today, but I gotta get back to work on the website. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you next time.